Hi, I'm Shayna with Dancing Daisy Designs, and today I have 3 cool ideas that I'm going to use to upcycle these plain glass jars. The first idea I want to do is I want to wrap the top with a wire and make kind of like a little handle on the top. I think that'll be a really cute farmhouse decor idea. So I went to a couple of places to buy supplies. First of all, I got a big thing of multi-purpose wire at Home Depot. This is 200 feet, 55-pound wire, and it was $10. I actually found it in the knob and pool section where you buy knobs and pools for your cabinets at Home Depot. So if you're gonna look, start there so you don't have to search the whole store. Hopefully. Second, I got these neat driftwood type pieces, and I found this in the craft section at Walmart. It's a big bag of them. It's called Botanical Avenue Bowl Filler. So I don't know if you're going to be able to see this tag because of the glare. So there you go. It's in the craft section at Walmart, and at my Walmart it was $5. And you get quite a bit here, so I think that's a pretty good value. So I'm going to use that on the top for the handle. You could also just use a plain wooden dowel. You could just buy it and cut it to size, drill a hole in it, and use it for that. I did have to drill holes in these myself, so you will need a drill for that, and patience, because it takes a little while to get that little hole in there. So I'm going to tilt the camera down so you could see what I'm doing. Okay, first we need to get a piece of wire for our jar, and I'm going to grab a piece that's pretty long just to make sure I have enough. So this one's probably maybe a little over 12 inches, maybe 13, 14 inches long. So I've got my piece of wire. And I'm going to go from the center of the wire, about center of the jar. And I'm just going to start wrapping it around below the lip. I'm going to go halfway around, and then I'm going to stop, and I'm going to make a loop here. So I'm going to take this side, and I'm going to bend a loop. Just like that. And this wire is a little hard for me to twist with my fingers, so I'm going to take my pliers and I'm just going to twist it just to make sure that it's not going to come undone. So that's the first side. So I'm going to bend that up just like that, trying to pull it as tight as I can. So I'm going to go on the other side, halfway around my jar. The loop's here. I want to go on the other side, and I'm going to make another loop. And then I'm going to twist it once with my pliers. This loop's a little smaller than the other. Let's fix that. All right, I'm going to twist it just like that. Then I'm going to put it back on my jar, as close and tight as I can get under that lip, and I'm just going to pull that side up. Same with the other side. Okay, so now it's got 2 sides with the loop. Do you see that? And then I'm going to hold it as tight as I can, pull these 2 together, and then I'm going to twist them together to make the final closure under the lip. It's not easy to do. So, like I said, you want it to be as tight as you can get it. And twist. I'm going to use the pliers. You could twist it once or twice. Oh, with the pliers it really tightened up, so that was great. And then I'm just going to push these in so they're not poking out and going to stab me or anybody else. So just push those in. And then at this point, you can twist this around. Well, we would like to think you could twist it around. Put that at the back. So have your twisted part at the back, your two little mouse ears at the front. So there's that. We're going to take another piece of wire and cut that, and this one is going to be for the handle. So same as before, I'm going to use more than I think I need, because as you saw, that was just about enough to do that jar, and I thought I had extra. So I'm going to do about another 12 inches. Well, maybe about 11. That's about 11 inches. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to take and put one end through one of our loops, and then we're going to bend it up and twist it, just like the other one. And I'm going to use my pliers just to make it a little easier. Okay. So there I've got that part twisted. Now before I bend this over to make the handle, I'm going to take one of my drilled out pieces of driftwood and I'm going to stick it on the wire so I can see how long I want my wire to be. So that looks about good to me. I'm going to straighten this out, get the shape that I want. That looks about good to me, where it can hang down kind of like that. Cute farmhouse look. So I bent it to hold it in place, and I'm going to take the other piece, put it through the loop, and bend it up and give it a twist. And then cut the excess off. Okay, I am going to go in and tweak these just a little bit because I don't want these stabby ends to be poking me. So there we go. So there's our wire jar. And it's a little crooked, but I could kind of work with the metal there and adjust it. So what do you think? How cute is that? I really just think that is super cute. Farmhouse. You could put stuff in there, you could put flowers in there. It just gives a little something extra to a plain jar. So that's the first one. And like I said, I'm going to go ahead and try. I'm going to use this on this plain little square jar because it's got a nice lip. I'm going to do a pickle jar with a larger piece of the driftwood. And don't forget, you could always use a dowel. You don't have to buy the driftwood. For my second craft upcycle, I've got these really cool gallon jugs. And I have a couple different kinds. These ones have the cute little, I don't know what that's called. It's where your thumb, so when you hold the jar, like you could balance it with your thumb. A thumb hook. Yeah, we'll call it a thumb hook. So I'm going to take this jar, and I bought this burlap at Walmart. I'm not sure what it's called because on the label it just says burlap. It doesn't have a lot of information. You can't read the back, but it doesn't have really anything on the back either. It just has the measurements, and it says it's 10 feet, 5.5 inches burlap. So that's it. That's all the information you get. Got this in the craft section at Walmart, and it was about I think it was close to $5, and it's 10 feet, like I said. So what I'm going to do with this is I want to wrap it around the bottom of the jar. And I think that gives it a really cool kind of like coastal, beachy kind of vibe. It definitely adds something to just this plain jar. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of lay the jar out here and just measure by rolling the burlap around, seeing how much I think I need, and then I'm going to cut it with a little extra there. Okay. So, simple, not too much to think about. So I've got it cut out. And what I'm gonna do, boy, this one is not cooperating, is it? I'm gonna use my glue gun and I'm just going to glue it to the jar. And you could use some jute and just tie it on if you wanted to. I just feel like the glue gun is gonna hold it a lot better. So I'm gonna kind of move my jar where that it looks like this is gonna be at the back of the jar. And then I'm just going to put a little bit of glue, stick it on there. And I do not like playing with glue guns, so not my favorite thing. I always burn myself, so I guess if I use glue gun more often, I would probably not have that problem, but I don't, so that's okay. I will suffer for the beauty of this piece. So yeah, this is just simple. You just basically glue this piece of burlap on here. I'm trying to keep it as straight as possible. Not much to it. And I got this jar actually at an estate sale. It was $1. So that was a great find, I think, for $1. I'm trying to keep this looking the same square pattern that it has, so put some extra at the top. Oop, burned myself. See, I told you it would happen. So that's that. So I think that it's just cute. It's just really, really cute. So plain, easy, simple way to upcycle a gallon jug. You could also do this, you know, on a different shaped jar. It doesn't have to be the gallon jug. I just think it really just takes it and adds something extra to it. Really fun for your decor. The next thing that I have is I took some of the plain glass jars and I just painted them with a clay-based, a water-based clay paint. You could also use a chalk paint. I mean, you could also, I guess you could use regular paint too if you wanted to. I just prefer chalk and clay paint. So this is just one coat of DIY paint by Debbie's Design Diary, and it covered this jar completely. And I also did this one because I happened to be using this paint color on another project, so I just went ahead and did this clear glass jar too. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a wet paper towel, damp, not wet, you don't want it dripping, just damp, and I'm going to distress back a little bit of the detail on the jar. We're going to seal it, and then we could always add a handle to it if we wanted to, or you could just leave it. It looks really cute with some flowers in it, or some just foliage, or even just plain just as a little farmhouse style decor. So I'm just going to pull back the paint in a few areas to give it a distressed look. We try to go in the areas where it would normally have wear, so around the base, around the top, and just a few little spots here and there. And it's kind of wet, so once it dries a little bit, you'll be able to see more of the details where I distressed it back. So let's get our other piece done. And you could heavy distress or light distress or no distress. You could just paint it, leave it like that, seal it, and use it for your decor. It's all a matter of what type of look you're going for. Okay. So there's that one. Now let's do our blue. And this one I think is going to be real cute, distressed back, because it's got these little star details on it and these little spots where it's raised in the glass. It's going to be real cute. Can you see how cute that is? Once it dries, it'll be easier to see. You guys like this color? I love this color. This one is Sea Glass by DIY Paint, and I just used it for the first time and I absolutely love it. It's just this beautiful bright lighter blue and I just absolutely love it. This color is Farm Fresh, just in case you need to know, so you can look for that. And like I said, I only needed one coat on these because I planned on distressing them back, and so I didn't want to put like why put 2 coats of paint on if you don't need it, because I'm going for a distressed look anyway. So I didn't want to waste any paint. Okay. And there we go. Let's see, here's a drier side so you can see. Doesn't that look cute? I love it. It just adds so much to a plain glass jar. So let's see, how are we doing here? Oh, see, we're dry already. So now I've got my DIY wax by Debbie's Design Diary, and I'm going to use this to seal my jars. Got my wax brush. It's just a flat style brush. Works best for using wax. This is what the wax looks like. It's just a clear wax. I'm just going to get a little bit on the end of my brush. I mean, you could probably barely see it. I've got so little on there. And I'm just going to take this and I'm going to kind of go light because I don't want to pull the paint off. And I'm just going to apply the wax all over. When it dries, it's going to be a little bit darker than this color and a little bit lighter than the waxed color. So it's going to be in between those two colors. And with the wax, you can buff it when you wipe it off, you buff it and you can get a sheen. So the more you buff it, the more of a sheen you get. So it depends on how shiny you want your final piece to be. But there we go, that's all waxed up. And what you want to do is you want to let that sit for, I don't know, a few hours. And then you can come back and just buff off the excess. and you've got a nice finished and sealed piece of decor. Now, you don't want to put wax, anything that is painted like this, you don't want to put it in the dishwasher. You just want to spot clean it. You don't want to submerge it in water, soak it, scrub it, because more than likely you will get the paint coming off. So you don't want to do that. This is just for decor and for if you need to, a little teeny tiny spot clean with a damp rag, very lightly to clean it. So see how easy the wax goes on? Gets all down in these crevices with this nice big brush. And like I said, when the color's dry, they're going to be a little bit darker than they are when you've got just plain dried paint like this, but a little bit lighter than when you have the very first waxing where it's kind of wet. So just get this one finished up here. It's so quick and easy. Okay. And that's it, we're all done. So those are my 3 different upcycles for plain glass jars. We've got the handle, really cute. We've got the burlap, twisted burlap, we can call it, I guess, twisted burlap around the jar. And then we've got the painted jar, distressed and painted jar. My ideas on how to upcycle just plain glass jars. If you did, please hit the like and subscribe button so you don't miss any of my future videos. I'll see you next time. Bye!